In this video, we'll break down 5 key signs that prove a player is still an amateur, we'll explore the technical and strategic mistakes that hold players back, and we'll talk about modern pickleball through the lens of smarter decision-making and disciplined execution. Many players believe they are progressing simply because they are playing more, but without correcting these patterns, improvement stalls. Recognizing these signs matters because competitive matches are often decided by small adjustments in positioning, timing, and intent. This breakdown functions as a checklist. Each section highlights a common amateur tendency, explains why it limits performance, and clarifies what higher-level players do differently to win more consistently. One of the clearest signs of an amateur player is the refusal to adjust strategy based on who is on the other side of the net. Many players focus entirely on their own game without analyzing opponent tendencies. High-level players, by contrast, actively gather information and adapt. Aggression level should shift depending on results. In dink rallies, if speed-ups consistently force errors, that is a signal to increase aggression. Continuing to dink passively in that scenario wastes opportunity. On the other hand, if speed-ups are being countered effectively, that indicates a need for patience. Waiting for better balls becomes the smarter approach. The same logic applies from the baseline on third shots. If drives are producing weak replies or errors, driving more often is justified. However, if opponents are handling drives easily and keeping the serving team back, drops become the better choice to work forward gradually. Targeting weaknesses is equally important. If an opponent has a weaker backhand dink, directing more balls to that side increases the chance of winning the rally. From the back of the court, targeting the weaker wing can also make drops or drives less effective for the opponent and easier to handle at the net. High-level players actively search for these imbalances. Amateurs simply play without adjustment. Another clear sign of amateur play is improper use of the split step. The split step is crucial in transition zones and immediately after key shots. Without it, balance and reaction speed suffer. In the transition zone, especially when working forward behind resets, the split step lowers the center of gravity and prepares the body to react laterally. The correct timing occurs just as the opponent makes contact with the ball. This stance allows quick lunges to either side while maintaining balance. Without it, players struggle to adjust and often get caught off guard. The split step is equally important after hitting the return of serve. After the return, players should move forward but pause in a split position to prepare for the third shot. If the return is slightly weaker and the opponent drives aggressively, failing to split leaves the returning player unprepared. Proper split timing ensures readiness whether the third shot is a drive or a drop. Higher-level players use the split step consistently and intentionally. Amateurs either neglect it entirely or use it at the wrong moments, sacrificing balance and defensive stability. Improper attack timing is another hallmark of amateur play. Attacking from a disadvantageous position frequently results in lost points. If positioned deep in the court while facing a hard incoming ball, driving aggressively rarely improves the situation. It simply invites another hard counter and keeps the player pinned back. Similarly, in the transition zone, attacking balls struck near the feet is low percentage. In these situations, the correct objective is to use the soft game and place the ball in the kitchen to regain neutral positioning. A general rule applies. If contact is made below knee height behind the non-volley line, attacking is usually a mistake. When the ball must be hit upward, opponents can respond downward with advantage. Attempting to drive from this position often leads to either an easy counterattack or an unforced error. Even at the kitchen, impatience causes similar problems. Players sometimes speed up from poor positions simply because they feel pressure in long dink rallies. Higher-level players remain calm. They wait for a ball that sits slightly higher, creating real opportunity. Extended dink exchanges are common at advanced levels because players understand that attacking prematurely leads to immediate punishment. Staying composed in disadvantageous positions and using the kitchen to reset separates disciplined players from amateurs who bail out under pressure. Overhead technique also exposes amateur tendencies. Many players attempt to end points with arm-only swings while neglecting body rotation and grip fundamentals. Generating real power requires turning the shoulders and rotating the torso through contact. Without full body involvement, overheads lack pace and penetration. Grip selection also matters. Using a Western grip limits wrist function and power. An Eastern or Continental grip allows better control and stronger mechanics on smashes. Movement patterns are equally critical. Backpedaling while tracking a lob compromises balance and reduces power potential. Instead, players should turn and cross one leg over the other to move efficiently backward. If crossing over feels difficult, turning and shuffling is an acceptable alternative. The key principle is avoiding straight backpedaling, which is slower and more dangerous. Higher-level players combine rotation, proper grip, and efficient footwork to produce overheads that decisively end points. The final sign of amateur play appears when a team is at the net while opponents remain back. In this advantageous position, failing to apply pressure allows opponents to advance easily. If the ball is mid-height and attackable, it should be struck firmly downward. The objective is to win the point while opponents are still deep. Even on lower balls, rolling with topspin toward the opponent's feet is effective. Topspin causes the ball to accelerate downward after crossing the net, making resets more difficult. When facing drives, technique adjusts slightly. Punch volleys with a firmer wrist are preferred to maintain control. Excessive wrist flicking on fast balls increases mishits. The grip should be stable, and the target remains the opponent's feet to prevent forward movement. High-level players consistently use topspin and firm volleys to keep opponents pinned back. Amateurs often release pressure too early, giving away control of the point. Each of these 5 signs reveals a gap between amateur and advanced play. Modern pickleball rewards players who stay patient, read opponents, use proper movement, and apply pressure intelligently. By treating these signs as a checklist and correcting them deliberately, players can eliminate the habits that hold them back and begin winning more consistently against stronger competition.